and today we're going to be talking about different plants like fruits and vegetables that are in season in South Carolina, and currently in the spring, and then as we get into summer. And then we'll also touch base a little bit as far as how you can grow your own so you can save money on fruits and vegetables. So right now, going into spring, there's a lot of different fruits and vegetables that are going to be coming into season. So strawberries are coming up. They are a spring and summer fruit, as well as blueberries will be coming in, anywhere from early summer through to late summer. There's also watermelons, cantaloupe, your summer squashes like zucchini and yellow squash, green beans, sugar snap peas, broccoli, cauliflower. These are all fruits and vegetables that you're going to be able to get locally. So you can hit up a farmer's market to see what they have, to see what's been locally grown. You can also go to your grocery store. A lot of times they have a certified grown in South Carolina portion, so that all of those things that it's locally grown, as well as supporting a local farmer. So as far as kind of having your own garden to save money on fruits and vegetables and herbs, there's definitely a lot of different things to keep in mind, but it can be pretty simple if you have all the right instructions. So depending on what fruit or vegetable you're planting, it kind of depends on whether it needs full sun or partial sun. Maybe it needs to be in the shade, as well as what time it needs to be planted. So some fruits and vegetables need to be grown inside a little bit, and then the little sapling can be planted outside at a later time. While other fruits and vegetables, the seeds have to be sown directly into the soil outside. A lot of these you can actually grow inside as far as your herbs and spices, so things like lavender and basil, those you can grow inside, and some other ones you can grow like on your porch. So I've seen people grow tomatoes in a large pot with a tomato basket in there. And it is important to have that tomato basket no matter where you're planting it, whether it's in the pot or whether it's in your garden as well. So we're just going to go over a few different types of fruits and vegetables and kind of what you have to do in order for them to grow successfully here. So a lot of vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower, all of them can be planted directly into your garden right about right now. So early March is a good time to go ahead and plant them in the garden. But lettuce and spinach, you actually want to start them inside a bit earlier, more in February if you're starting with seeds. But luckily for you, you can go to most plant nurseries as well as stores like Lowe's and Home Depot, and they'll have plants that are already established. So you can find a lot of times a lettuce plant or a spinach plant that's already been grown a little bit, and then you can directly plant that right about now in early mid-March as well as into early April. Other plants like onions, potatoes, even garlic, all of those grow very well here. So for those, you want to go ahead and sow those just straight into the ground, preferably back, earlier during the year. So back in February would have been a good time. You can always keep that in mind for next year, as well as you can often find plants for these as well. So you can go ahead and plant them. It is a little bit late. Typically that just means that you'll get a harvest of it later than you normally would for those plants. Like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant, these are another one that is best to grow indoors starting in February and then transplant early to mid-April. But we're already past that, so that's not really helping us. So I would go to your local nursery or home improvement store. They have a lot of different varieties of tomatoes. They have heirloom tomatoes, there's Roma tomatoes, which are my personal favorite, a lot of different types of grape ones, all of those that are already in their own little plant. And so those you could just go ahead and directly plant now, or even wait a few more weeks and then plant them in early April. Now, luckily for a lot of your other summer vegetables, like your cowpeas, your corn, squashes, pumpkins, cucumbers, watermelons, all of those, you can just go ahead and directly plant those seeds right now, or you can actually wait up until about mid-April would be a good time. Now we are going to link down below a breakdown of a bunch of different types of fruits and vegetables that grow well in South Carolina that have it broken down as to when is a good time to start sowing the seeds indoors. If you missed out on that, then you can go ahead and just get a sapling to transplant. That just means that you're going to plant it into the ground. You're going to transplant it from whatever you grew growing it inside to then planting it outside. And then there's also direct sow seeds. So these are ones that you're going to plant directly into the ground just from seeds. Now, other than timing for your planting and the sun amount, another thing to keep in mind is water. So South Carolina summers are brutally hot, as we all know, and some plants need more water than others. So most of your plants and even seed packets will say on it how much water it needs. So that'll help you determine whether you need to go out there with a hose or get a sprinkler in order to water them daily, maybe even multiple times per day, depending on how hot and dry it gets, or whether they just need a little bit of water here and there. So plants like rosemary are very, very hardy. They're kind of hard to kill, and they actually live all of the time. It's more of a shrub, so it doesn't actually die off. It's just going to keep growing and getting bigger and bigger. So that's one that you typically don't need to water much after it's been well established, because it can do fine by itself. But basil is a lot more sensitive of a plant. So that one, you want to make sure it's getting plenty of water, or else it'll get droopy, and nobody wants droopy basil. So definitely look at all of the information we have of all of those different types of fruits and vegetables. You can always look on the package. It'll give you a lot of different information. The last thing to keep in mind is if you are getting really ambitious with your gardening, some types of plants actually need a male and a female plant in order for them to produce fruit, typically. So for those, that's definitely going to be more intense. So like blueberry bushes as well as kiwis, those ones are a lot more complicated, so it's not for beginners. I would definitely start with some of those easier ones where you just plant the seed, it grows, you're done, or even easier, you can just go and get the potted plant, plant it, and then wait till it grows. Some of these, again, you can grow inside, like basil, you can put it in a pot, put it on a windowsill, or if you have a grow lamp, you can use that to help it grow inside as well if you're in an apartment. But even if you have a small balcony, you can also get large pots and plant things like herbs and spices, as well as smaller plants like strawberries and tomatoes. Well, I hope that all of that information was helpful for you to try to increase your fruits and vegetables this spring and summer, and even try your hand at gardening. So definitely be sure to look at that information down below if you're interested in planting any of these, and have a great day.